more than 10 years, right?
More than 15 years. It's totally great. I know.
And you've never been to Zanzibar.
And I've never been
How
to
come?
I feel out of place.
Really?
I should have done this more.
You will never enjoy the life if you would never
Sindio.
been to Zanzibar.
Sindio.
Yeah, like you have to. You're planning maybe from
Now,
from this time in Dar es Salaam, maybe you can.
when I go back to Uganda, like this, when I get good data.
And even in Dar es Salaam, you should do some.
Well,
Go to the Lord, please.
and
Hey, we got Bebe Cool. We love you every day, Mountain Lion. No pain, no
let me take
back.
you down to my hometown, girl.
Girl.
Every day I dream about a brand new world.
Word.
Oh, brand new world.
Word.
Yeah.
Hey.
Every day I think about a brand new world. Let me take you down to my hometown, girl.
Girl.
Yeah, in my hometown, girl. You're finding people who are just having fun.
Okay.
And now that we are the youngest country in the world, you know what it means when it's 10 people and 7 are young?
Okay.
The aura is vibrating, you know. So 70% of our people in Uganda are young.
Okay.
So, and you know what young people do? If they're not doing sports, they're doing entertainment.
Okay. That's
So
nice.
the country is so vibrant.
Okay, that's good. Do you believe a couple of years back, I think maybe 20 or 15 years,
Yeah.
Uganda was so good in music more than Tanzania.
Of course.
But now Tanzania is more than Tanzania, more than Kenya and Uganda.
I think it balances different.
How?
I can't say. I think yes, Tanzania is good, but now we have to come to, if we're talking about individual artists. Tanzania had already become better when there was more artists nearly at the same level.
Okay. But
Yeah.
Uganda,
In Uganda, the thing is, you find you can. How can I say this? Tanzania has Diamond, and then the rest of maybe Alikiba comes next. That is when you're in Uganda. Now the rest of
so
the
there's no artist maybe in Uganda is more than Diamond and Alikiba. Like when
Yeah,
when you try
it's
when you try to level up.
It's difficult to say that there are 5-10 artists from Tanzania that are known in Uganda.
So say Diamond and Alikiba.
Yes.
There's no
So
harmonizing,
now
no
that
Rayvanny.
does not that Rayvanny still. I think
Struggling.
Rayvanny needs to do the tour there.
Okay. Harmonize.
He needs to come there. Harmonize is known, but you see, if they seal it with a media tour and more collaboration in Uganda, then they become as household as Diamond.
Okay.
The same applies to Kenya.
Okay.
So when you say Tanzania is now better, to me it was those days we were moving more like, it wasn't that even Uganda was better. We were moving like at the same pace as East African countries.
Okay.
Because if you consider those days, that's when even more collaborations were happening and more concerts within Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. Kabila is in Tanzania, Professor J is in Uganda, Bebe is in Nairobi, Nazizi Y and Nameless are in Uganda. You get it? So we were moving together. Of late, it's difficult. I don't see too much, you know. Maybe you hear once or twice the Diamond every year maybe coming to Uganda. Maybe it died out.
Okay.
So the competition has died.
Competition has that.
And now I'm here to revive.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see this thing happen every now and then. I want to be able to say, Bebe was in Dar es Salaam last week. Next week, Azawi or Joshua Baraka. You get it? I need to see Rayvanny in Kampala. Has Rayvanny come to Kampala before? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I doubt. But then if you, because I met with Rayvanny in Nairobi, with Jason Derulo when we did Coke Studio.
Coke Studio.
So from there, because we had a song, I should have come to Dar es Salaam, he should have gone to UG.
Just like exchange.
Exchange program.
Some
So
vibes.
we need this East African exchange program musically right now.
You know, because I'm asking that because by that time was Kenko, was Snappy, was Bebe, was Bobby Wine.
Yeah.
You know, who else at that time? You know, different artists from Uganda was just doing good in Tanzania, you know, was just like watching their videos, whatever, blah, blah. But nowadays, you know, because they are my friends, that's why I'm considering. And shout out to my brother, Eddie Kenzo, by the way. He's doing good, you know, you can say he's a good.
I think we need, I'm sure after this media tour, many of our brothers and sisters will consider this issue again.
Okay.
Because the names are there, but they need backup to go out there and push music. You get it? Otherwise, if we don't do this, I don't think we will maintain that energy for East Africa. We need to. West Africa has done that. You can see the collaboration between Nigeria and Ghana.
Okay.
Okay. So when you see that collaboration, you easily now cannot separate Ghana and Nigeria. You can't,
because you feel like it's a one country.
It's a one country. So we need to do the same here. Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. We need to make it as a one country musically.
Okay. You want to break the chain, and you already say like break the chain, and why you're ready to chain. So tell me about the break the chain.
Well, Break the Chain's album is a 16-track album that I just dropped 30 days back. It's a new revelation that I want to use to re-motivate the East African industry. You can see that the trends of music has changed. We've been doing dancehall, reggae for a very long time, bongo, but now the globe, because of our brothers from Nigeria and South Africa pushing Afrobeat to the globe. I'm a piano. So you can see that the world has accepted a trend of music from Africa finally. Okay? So us as Africans now need to also embrace that acceptance and join the forces, and let's take an African sound. Let's keep taking African sounds
to the global.
So for me, I say, let me do an album which has Afrobeat, Afrotech, Afropop sounds, okay? And then reignite every other artist who's possibly able to do that, because we now know for sure that people have accepted to eat that food. So Break the Chains title, why call it Break the Chains? Because we also want people to start thinking differently. We need to ask people to stop thinking within the box and think out of the box. If in life you feel you're in the same place, it's because you're doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
Okay.
So it's like you're chained on a tree and you want to break it. So I'm in Tanzania with a brand new sound. It's no longer dancehall. I've broken that chain off. I'm off the tree. I'm now on the move to the next new world. Okay. So it appeals to you in life that let's say you have. Are you married?
No.
You should.
No.
But when you get married and you have fights with your wife and you beat up your wife, the next day or the next time, try giving her a hug and see if she doesn't do exactly what you want.
Okay.
So it's just to change the mentality. That's what Break the Chains is. So it has songs like motivation. When you hear motivation, you see people being motivated. We talk about motivation. It has. I've got a collaboration with Joshua Baraka, which is a check.
And then another feature.
In today's world, life is all about a check. Ladies will tell you, you don't have a check. I don't have anything for you.
Yeah.
So I've also got DJ Edu on the album.
DJ
Edu in London, and then I also have Yemi Alade. With African Love.
From Uganda.
From
Nigeria.
Yes. The song is called African Love. So basically, the 16 titles of that album connect to each other.
You didn't think about maybe feature Tanzanian artists.
No. I did think about anything. You see, to future, now it is the time.
Okay.
A Tanzanian artist can look onto that album, listen to the song, like it, and say, you know what, I want a remix with Bebe on his album.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the best thing, because when you're doing the challenge of changing the direction, it may be difficult to convince an artist, tell them, you know what, let's go Afro-pop. Because in Tanzania, the artist feels probably still bongo music stronger So watch I first go do the sample out there with the with Afro pop, and then he listens to it.
Okay.
Like I've got the song called Hips Don't Lie
Hips
on
Don't Lie.
on the album. So if a Tanzanian artist come up and say, you know what, I want to put some Swahili in Hips Don't Lie, that's Afro pop, Afro tech music. You get it?
So you're okay to do
So
a
I'm
remix?
very ready to work with artists from East Africa,
Okay.
artists from West Africa, and of course I've got some from South Africa.
That's nice. So the album's out
Yes,
on all digital platforms, right?
true.
If you go out there, just search Break the Chain,
Break the chain.
Bebe Cool, you get it. Anything else that we'd like to share with your truly amazing Tanzanian fans who are watching right now? Just no pen, no pad.
It is always going to be the East African thing.
Mhm.
You know, we've been shouting too much about numbers, talking about West Africa, talking about Nigeria. We as artists are giving excuses of saying, well, Nigerian artists are making it because they got numbers. But I think the issue is, the solution is, we as East Africans must go back to our reunion, our combination of our countries.
Together as one.
We have Tanzania with 67 million people. We got Uganda with 55 million people. We got Kenya with 50 million people. That's really 170 million. We got Rwanda, we got Burundi, we got Congo, South Sudan, and Ethiopia inclusive. So when you want to talk about numbers, we have to look at ourselves as East Africa. That's the first thing. Then you have to understand, our fans have to understand that now music is a game of numbers. Okay? So it is going to streaming. Okay? So if you're going to streaming, you're going to ask yourself one thing. How much streams do we need? 10 million from Kenya, 10 million from Uganda, 10 million from Tanzania, 5 million from Kigali,
Burundi as well.
So
Ethiopia.
an artist only needs about 30 to 40 million streams to become global, because the global figures are going to pay attention to an artist who has 30, 40 million streams on one song. Because Jay-Z wants to find out who is that. Jay-Z wants to share some of those 40,
Numbers don't lie.
40 million. Numbers don't lie. So I want our fans to stream our music. I want the fans to understand that we can go global only if they stream the music.
All right, my brother. I appreciate for you to be here.
Thank you.
When was the conversation between you and Diamond Platnumz by the time he's in Uganda, the coffee festival, something like that?
Yeah. We spoke, this is the same thing we're talking about. I mean, I was first of all impressed by the fact that Diamond came to perform, but not in Kampala, but rather in Tungam, which is up country. And then, of course, the love was a lot. But we spoke about, focus was more to let our governments invest in the art,
In the music.
and to also make sure that we now openly speak about it, to tell our governments that they need to understand this business needs investment.
Okay.
They need to support the artists with finances. The governments also need to work on the issue of cheapening the data. Okay, the pricing on the data must go down, because our countries are now having so many young people. But remember, governments cannot find jobs for people. Okay, so the best way to create jobs is to allow, now the young people have shown you they can be creative. I mean, here we have over 20 people. Everybody's got a camera, but the one common thing that we all have is data. So if governments make data cheap, this cheap data is going to help people be creative, and along the side of being creative, you're going to see music being streamed easily, and then those numbers are going to make superstars from East Africa. And the superstars will go global. When they go global, they make the $1 million, and they bring back the $1 million in East Africa.
That's a fact. My brother, I do appreciate. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Anytime, by the time you're getting back in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania,
Yeah, man.
let me know. I'll put you on some things,
Done deal.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Cheers. Ebana tulikuwa na Bebe Cool leo. Ebana na shule. mambo ya shule fulani, mambo ya sentiments na nini hatari sana. Anyway, this is No Pen No Bad Mountain Lion Executor fam. We outside.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna do amazing. We're gonna keep it up and keep pushing.
Jimbo.
Ulikuwa
Piga picha na timu wao.